Next up, we have Control Mind by Waterflame. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member, all that good stuff. Once again, everybody, members starting this week, so if you're watching this on the YouTube archive, it will already have started. Members get to watch the videos in early access. I schedule these on Saturdays, so on Saturday, if you're a paid member, you get access to all of the videos of the week, regardless of what tier you are on. So, yeah, there's that. Two disclaimers. Number one, this is my first time hearing this ever, so I will be pausing a lot, and I will be speaking a lot. So, yeah, I'll be pointing things out as I hear them. As that. And number two, this is recorded live on stream on a single take. I will stumble upon my words. Whatever happens, happens. With that being said, let's do this. Control Mind by Waterflame. Let's go. Okay, so we start with this initial hit, and we get these like very, very distant semblance of what could be our initial hit. Initial rhythm. Not beat, but the rhythm of some of the other ones. Now we brought in another hit. Now things are a little bit more clear. We are getting some rhythm. Let me just hear a bit more. Mainly percussion. We're getting rhythm here. Let's see where it goes. Alright. Alright, thanks for hanging out, Megumi. So yeah, we are getting this really, really fun drum beat. We're establishing these one at a time, and it seems like we're just holding down some chords. Let's see how this goes. There we go. Entirely the rhythm section, just establishing beat. And there you go. We now have our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. Oh yeah, by the way, I think this is featured in Geometry Dash, that is my understanding. So, yeah, we have now this really cool melody, very, very elongated, not very elongated, like it's just takes a while, and it's mostly rhythmic. It's not as much melodic as it is rhythmic. Pretty standard, I would say, when it comes to electronic music, to use that kind of thing. So let's just see where it goes. Variation, very nice. I like that we're getting some pitch bending with the melody. So when it comes to music, right, we have the concept of frequency, and within frequency we now in the West use what is called the chromatic scale to bring all of the notes that we have. So the chromatic scale is 12 tones. That is all the keys white and black in the piano. That is all 12 frets of the octave in the guitar. And these usually are tuned at 440 hertz for A, for the tone of A. And this has been the standard for quite a while now, and this means that every note that we get from the chromatic scale is primarily a certain specific frequency or a just very small range of frequencies that we're getting. Then if you go and you deviate from anything like that, for example, let's just write a couple of notes, right? So you got C, and then there's C sharp or D flat. These are enharmonics, which means that they are the same note basically. So these are two separate notes. These are the smallest, like one of the smallest gaps in music. It's called a semitone. However, if you try to travel to any sound, any frequency between these two, you end up with what is called microtones. for microtonal music. And there is a concept that is called pitch bending, which you will see this, and if you see a keyboard, like an instrumental keyboard, you will see like there's a little wheel on the side, and that wheel you can move up, you can move down, and it will bend the pitch up and down, kind of like in guitar when you can bend a string upwards, that kind of thing. So we have that, and whenever you enter that side anywhere between C and C sharp, so let's just visualize this a little bit, right? So we have C, and then up here we have C sharp. And right here, all this distance between these two notes are frequencies that exist. Like, these are frequencies that exist, but we don't use in Western music. However, if you bend the pitch, then you traverse through these, and if you stop halfway through, you engage in microtonals. And that is exactly what Waterflame is doing over here, which is pretty nice. Let's see where this goes. And we're introducing a couple of extra synths here and there, giving us a bit more extra texture, but mostly just focusing on the central. Oh, that's cool. We change the chord, still the same rhythm. And off the ramp we go. So basically we were just keeping the same rhythm with that kind of thing, and we were just bouncing back and forth between two separate chords, giving us what is called a sequence. So when it comes to motivic development and melodies and all that kind of stuff, you have to develop your motif into a phrase or a full-blown melody. Like, that's how this works, right? But in this case, our motif is very simple, and it's mainly rhythmic. And it does have pitched and everything, so that makes things easier. The simpler your motif, the easier it is to explore. And right now what we did is one of the ways of developing your motif in what is called a sequence or sequencing. What that is for example, we have this melody. Let's say we have this shape of a melody, and a sequence is basically repeating that, but not from the same point. So, for example, in this case, we were doing a couple of repetitions, and then we changed the starting point, and then we brought it back, giving us this really cool meta zigzag shape of this whole thing. Really, really cool and simple. When it comes to music, one of the biggest concepts that exists, that comes very true, very evidently, is less is more. And Zinjuma, thank you for hanging out. Have a good one. So yeah, less is more. For example, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. One of the greatest symphonies, many argue the best symphony ever written in the history of mankind. The motif. Ba-ba-ba-bam. That's it. That's the motif. And Beethoven took that, half a second, and expanded it into a full 45-minute symphony. And every single work that he did after that, he brought that motif in one way or another. Beautiful, beautiful symphony. And he just does everything. The symphony starts with a sequence, ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum, and then he starts it, speeds it up, ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum, and the whole thing is just based on that, and it's based on what? Ba 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 ba. Four notes. Such a simple thing, yet it is one of the greatest to ever be conceived. So, yeah, and we are doing something like that. We're sequencing here, taking this very, very simple, very, very simple motif, and just making the most out of it. Let's see where this goes. Oh yeah, and off the ramp we went. So off the ramp is a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean that there is no official academic term for it, or at least there is, or at least I'm not using it for the sake of simplicity. So But off the ramp is a type of transition that I call. Usually, it can be as short as a couple of beats. It can be as long as a full section, and it's basically designed to make you. It's a transition to make your listener feel suspended up in the air, at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land. And classically, welcome back. How you doing? Welcome to the day. And how do you do that? You remove the drums, maybe the bass as well, which is kind of what is happening right now. Let's see where we land. And now we now add another synth with a variation of that initial motif, giving us a little bit more rhythm and not much else. But that little bit of extra rhythm is more than enough to make this really fun. Let's see where it goes. Nice. Then we're adding a couple of extra synths here and there to just add a bit of extra texture. Nice. And we're having some, and I can hear some audio, like vocal samples, giving a bit of extra texture in what we would call non-functional harmony. So when it comes to music, you have three elements: melody, harmony, rhythm. Harmony is the one that is a bit weirder than the other two, because melody is usually the horizontal lines of each individual instrument. Rhythm is, time, the beats and everything. But harmony is a bit more meta than that. It extrapolates things a lot more, because harmony is the use of whatever chords you have, what notes you're using, what scales you're using, what scales you make out of the chords that you're using, what the relationship between the chords that you're using makes, what scales you get, what relationship between each scale that you're playing goes, the order of it, the rhythm of it, how fast, how slow you change it, and how all of these just change over and over. You can have so many layers and so many levels of extrapolation when it comes to harmony, but one of the concepts is functional versus non-functional. As I said earlier, we use the harmonic, the chromatic scale. The chromatic scale, which is 12 notes. Out of those 12 notes, usually we will pick out 7 and make a scale with that. So that's where most of our scales come from. Just take 7 notes out of the chromatic scale and you repeat them over and over and you get your key signature. And then any sounds that you put on top of that during your music are going to be either functional or non-functional, harmonically speaking. Functional harmony is where the notes have some sort of relation either to the scale that you're using or a scale that you're going to use or the scale that you have used. Like in some way, it's going to enter those intricate mechanisms of harmony that you can get. And non-functional, it just means it's there because it sounds good. It doesn't matter if it fits the harmony or not. It just sounds good. And in this case, and usually when you hear a lot of music that uses these kinds of vocal sounds, just samples of people speaking, things like that, that is non-functional. It adds texture and it adds to the music and it's really cool. It just serves no purpose, harmonically speaking, which, the academics would just throw a fit of rage at that, but it exists. So yeah, let's see where this goes. And it sounds weird when they drop it off the beat. We drop the beat with this. Nice. Off the ramp we go again. And now we're giving these samples a little bit more rhythm. And oh my god, this is just fun. Oh, and hang on, I forgot to delete this one from the thing. And no, classical, not yet. That's gonna be tomorrow most likely. All right, so yeah, let's see where it goes. So now we've simplified the things we simplified things a little bit for the sake of giving these audio samples a bit more spotlight, and it just works. It's fun. It's fun. It sounds cool. Sometimes in music, you don't need to match the theory. You don't need to know anything. It just needs to sound good. And in this case, it just does. Let's see where this goes. Back we go to the initial. Back we go to the original. And... oh, this is cool. Ooh. So yeah, we bring another variation of the rhythm. We add an extra layer to the drums, to the drums that is happening right now, to add a bit of extra texture. Very dancey. Yeah, this is very cool, dude. This is very, very cool. And in general, this is just giving you a vibe. This is something that you want. Like, it's not very dynamic in the sense of the melodies aren't doing that much, the harmony isn't doing that much, the beat is fairly straightforward so far, and it repeats a lot. However, that doesn't really matter now, does it? It just sounds cool. It's a vibe. It's just music to vibe to. And Waterflame is just making it work. It just sounds cool. Yeah, like if you want an example of something that does not fit that theoretically speaking shouldn't work but does anyway, because in theory this shouldn't work. Control Mind should not work in theory. The melody is way too simple. The harmony is basically non-existent. The rhythm repeats way too much, and yeah, the individual elements, you're incorporating non-functional harmony, you're incorporating a bunch of textures here that are completely random. In theory, this shouldn't work. Yet here we are. So if you want another example of that, Canon in D. This piece. In theory, if you were to show Canon in D in any composition school nowadays, like if that composer had to were to show up to any music school and show Canon in D, he'd get kicked out. He'd get laughed at. How dare you bring something so boring and so poorly written to this classroom? Get out of my classroom. Canon in D is one of the most famous wedding pieces in the world because it's beautiful. It just works anyway. It just does. Sometimes theory can't account for everything, and right now, theoretically speaking, the melody is nothing special. And what is Waterflame doing? Every repetition, we are adding one extra bit, one extra bit, one extra droplet, one extra droplet, and it works. And it works. So, yeah, let's see where it goes. Oh, drum fill, nice. Off the ramp once again. Just letting that motif happen. Oh, bit of pitch bending. Some vocal sounds again. The motif hasn't changed. We're still repeating. A little bit of sequencing here and there, but we're still just repeating the motif. Where are we going to take this? One more synth at the top, giving us a little bit of contrast. Giving us extra rhythm, extra texture. Let's see. Oh, we changed the drums a little bit. We changed the drums a little bit. We changed the placement of the drums ever so slightly. And it changed everything. I'm bringing it up. This just goes to show how unbelievably important doing the right rhythm at the right time is. If you want an example, a more obvious example of something like this happening, listen to the intro of The Mirror by Dream Theater. Something similar happens. The guitar is doing the exact same thing for the first minute. Jong, 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 jong. The drum shifts around, the synths shift around, the bass shifts around. and it's just doing the exact same thing over and over. And at times it's really, really difficult to tell that the guitar is actually still doing the same thing. And yeah, that is exactly what is happening over here. Waterflame just swapped the rhythm ever so slightly, and now it sounds completely different. Really cool. Let's see where it goes. Oh, very nice. Yeah, there you go. We're just repeating everything, basically. We do have a couple of extra layers here giving us a little bit more texture. Once again, non-functional harmonic text, functionally non-functional harmony, just bringing pure texture in. Very, very rhythmic. It's just, yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun. Let's see where it goes. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Repetition with those vocal sound samples. And most of the variation in the drums is the hi-hat that we put. Yeah, it's the higher end of the drums that changed, and yeah. Yeah, this is a great... It's like, this is not something I would sit down and listen to by myself, but you put this in a video game? Huh. This gets you in the zone. This gets you right in the zone when it comes to video games, and that's something I like about video gaming is like this kind of thing. I think this would be awesome in so many video games. So, let's see where it goes. Up the ramp, and there we go. Let's see here. And yeah, it seems memberships are broken on YouTube right now. Because some people here should still have their memberships, but don't. So it seems like it might be a little bit broken right now. But yeah. Anyway, let's see where it goes. We bring this back. There we go. And no, Thomas, we're not. Let's see. Off the ramp again. And yeah, so far, like, this has been almost pure repetition. It's insanely simple and straightforward what Waterflame is doing here, and it just sounds cool. It just sounds cool. Like this, putting this on a game like, let's see, I would put this in an action sequence on some like factory game. Something like that. Like I could see something like this in a shooter like Ultra Kill style. Not Ultra Kill because, you know, Hakita does his own thing, but something like that, and you're in the zone. And you're in the zone. So let's see where this goes. Alright, let's see. Off the ramp, and now we have one more layer. We added one more layer at the top. Very subtle. It took me a moment to realize it was there. Giving us a melody. What I like to call a flying melody. It's another colloquial term that I use. And a flying melody is, you have a busy drum, bass, middle section, and higher up above, you have a melody, slower, simpler than everything else, flying above the landscape that you've created, which is precisely what Waterflame is doing right now. It's a very impactful thing. And if you want a good example of a flying melody, the song Roxanne from the Moulin Rouge musical. I can't spell it. I can't spell. And at least in the film, is the part that Ewan McGregor sings at the climax of the song. That is a flying melody, and it is a beautiful flying melody. There's another one. I think it was Good to Be King I think it's Good to Be King from the film Journey to Bethlehem. It's Antonio Banderas. It's the part that Antonio Banderas sings, mine is the kingdom, mine is the power. That is another insanely good, and it's more contemporary version of a flying melody. By the way, this song, like it's Herod. Antonio Banderas plays Herod, the bad guy of the story of the Journey to Bethlehem. That song was so good. I remember seeing in social media comparing how this random studio making a biblical story managed to make such a banger compared to what Disney was putting up. Because I think Disney was putting up the film, I think it was Wish. And they compared like the bad guy song from Disney to the bad guy song of this random studio that happened to have Antonio Banderas in it. Journey to Bethlehem, like Good to Be King. In that song slaps. That song is good. It's an insanely good song. Like, say what you will, do what you will about, think what you will about the whole story. That song is insanely good. I don't even listen to that style of music, and I loved it. It's such a good song, and it has a flying melody. So yeah, we're having something like that in this thing. Let's see where this goes. And yeah, there are other examples. There are going to be a lot of other examples because it's a very, very powerful one. If you're into heavy metal, there's another one. I just thought of one more. Love's Souvenir by Seven Spires. There you go. This song, my favorite song by Seven Spires, hands down. I only name drop them because I love them. They are my friends. They're friends of mine from college, and they are insane. It's an insanely incredible song, and I love it. Adrienne Cowan is, I think she's one of the best female vocalists we've ever seen, hands down. So, yeah, Love Souvenir. It's metal and it's beautiful. Seven Spires it's beautiful. Yeah. All right, let's see where this goes. Because now we have this melody. All right, we had a break now. We bring back the second set of drums, and now we bring in a new layer of the synth. We bring a new melody, just giving us another variation, which I think this variation is a reduction of the melody. So when it comes to melodic development, you have the concept of reduction. Reduction is compressing something and speeding it up so that it plays faster. The melody, the very original version of the motif, was very slow. Very, very slow. So what we did is we chopped it up, and now we have a faster version of it that is playing over and over and over again in a reduction, giving it a completely different feel, as well as having everything else that has been playing. So far, we've been adding layer after layer after layer. We've only had one major change of drums, which is like this little quasi-shift that we got. Everything else has stayed pretty much the same, and we've just been adding layers, and it just works. Let's see where it goes. Nice. The melody now has it's a lot more dynamic this time around. This melody is a lot more dynamic than it was before, because now we're getting a more blatant melody. 5.5 minutes into the track, we actually get a proper electronic music melody. And how did we make it this far? Waterflame just made a fun beat. And that's it. Well played, mister. Let's see where it goes. Okay, this is new. Now we bring in another section. We bring in a new bass with a slightly with a new rhythm, a new variation of the motif. This one is syncopating compared to the beat. Syncopation just means that it's not playing along with the beat, and it just shows. And it's fairly risky to do this when it comes to your bass. Usually, you want your bass and your drums locked in. Like, you know, like not even pushing like proper like martial arts locking in. You want that tight. You want those two to be completely in sync with one another. And if you syncopate them, it's gonna be a risk. So when it comes to bass, like, yeah, usually hearing the bass being on beat with your drums, it's so good. And right now, Waterflame has deviated away from that. And it works. It's a fun beat. It's a fun motif. Let's see where it goes. You can hear it. Ba, 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 ba. Really good. We now bring a variation higher up. I think we got a retrograde here. Okay, so now we have what sounds to be a retrograde of the original motif. So once again, when it comes to motivic development, this is one we haven't been able to say for a very long time. So retrograde is a way of modifying a melody where you take whatever melody shape you have and you grab that and you flip it backwards. So often in this channel, we've talked about inversion. Inversion is when you take whatever melodic shape you have and you flip it upside down. The other way is retrograde. And this time around, we've engaged in that retrograde, which is fairly uncommon because it's usually pretty challenging to deal with a retrograde. However, the motif has been simple enough that just doing it has worked really well. Let's see where it goes. Alright, off the ramp we go again. Nice. And we bring it back, we kind of drop the beat, we have one more layer higher up giving us another melody. It works. Like, a lot of these, again, theoretically speaking, a lot of these things shouldn't work for as long as they have, yet here we are. It just goes to show that theory doesn't always match practice. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how it goes. How are you going to end this, though? We're accelerating the drums a little bit. Off the ramp. We bring back the syncopated drum, the syncopated bass. Okay. Yes, Mochichilo, you should. Alright. And yeah, we just bring back this. We bring back that. We bring a like siren alarm, more non-functional harmony over here. Just adding texture. And yeah, have a good night, Mochichilo. Yeah, good to see you. So yeah, no, that's like, there's not much for me to say here that I haven't said already. The melody, the beat is basically just repeating over, and the melody is repeating, the bass is repeating, and it's just a fun beat. It's just a fun beat. Let's see where it goes. Okay, how are you gonna do this? Alright, there we go. We remove the layers, we bring back the very basic drums and we crossfade it? Oh, we bring back some of those vocal samples and And there you go. One last hit of a couple of these things. We just let those echo out, and there you go. Man, what a trip this one was. There you have it. That was Control Mind by Waterflame. What an interesting case of theory doesn't always match practice. In theory, a lot of these, in theory, this should not have worked. This was very simple. There was very little dynamic in the melody. There was very little dynamics in so many other parts. It should not have worked. Yet here we are. Man, there you go. There you go. There you go. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the video, YouTube archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Once again, at the time of recording, or at least by the time you see this, chances are we have already surpassed the 4,000 subscriber mark. Thank you so much for being here. I do not take this for granted. I am very grateful every single day that we get to do this and have this much fun and just explore music like this. Make sure you like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member, all that good stuff. Once again, members get early access to all the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you have a paid membership on YouTube, regardless of the tier, you get access to it on Saturday when I schedule it, so consider that. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, go to the Discord server, link down below. Go to the LFA requests channel and follow the instructions on the pinned message. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you're not in Europe and you want to know what time that is, it's okay. The full up-to-date stream schedule showing in your local time zone is linked in both the Discord server and the Twitch channel. So if you are in, I don't know, if you're in South Korea and you're like, oh, but what time is Hungary and that over here? Don't worry, just go to the Discord or the Twitch channel and just check out the stream schedule. We will show you on your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel because I'm on YouTube. Of course I have a gaming channel. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the VOD recordings of the gaming after shows when they happen. Link down below, or just search for it on YouTube. The same username as James R. Basterd. You sub the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you go. There you go. Waterflame, Control Mind. I understand that this is posted in or featured in Geometry Dash. Really good stuff, man. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.